guys, Woods Farm here, Project 222. I appreciate everyone's patience. I know you guys have been waiting for a new video. So today's the day. We're going to be moving the Scout Car from its summer resting place into the garage so we can work on it over the winter. We're going to do a cold start video and get it over into the garage. So stick around and check it out. Okay guys, I know you've been extremely patient. I've mentioned this before, but our normal schedule is in the summer. I'm just too busy with farm chores to really work on the car. It's more of a winter project. So we've got hunting season is over. We were successful. We got a couple of deer, so we've got venison in the freezer. So now it's time to start thinking about the Scout Car. We're going to get it fired up here and drive it over and put it into my main garage. That's where I do all my fabricating work. It's going to stay there for the winter, and we'll start having regular videos on the project. We got our first real dump of snow last night. We got about, I don't know, 12 inches maybe. To the south of here, they got it way worse. They got lake effect snow, and they almost got 2 feet. There's my International. I got the snowblower on it this morning, cleared the driveway. I have to shuffle things around quite a bit here. In the summer, this tractor stays in my hay shed, but we get our hay delivery in October. So the tractor's actually kind of been out in the open for the last month or so. In the winter time, this shed was built specifically for the tractor. It lives in here in the winter time. Before that, it actually stayed in my garage, but we've been doing more and more fabricating, my wife included. She's also doing a lot of projects. So we're trying to keep the garage clear and open. So over the course of the summer, the Scout Car has been stored in this shed. So today's the day that everything gets moved around and finally get things back to normal. Of course, inside, I just got a whole pile of junk. I've got some exhaust pipes and the gas tank, fender jigs, cardboard templates, pieces of sheet steel, you name it, it's all piled in the back here. Had to move things around just to get the driver's area clear. We had it running in September and took it for a little rip around the property, but it's sat since then. It's pretty cold today. I don't know, maybe -5. Might be a little warmer now, but we'll see. It should start right up. Things look a little bit different in here. We just did a major cleanup and rearrange. Got rid of some shelving, moved some tools, tried to free up a little bit of square footage. I share this space with my wife, and during the summer, the warmer summer months, she does a lot of furniture refinishing and painting projects in here. But now it's winter, so it's my turn, and we're gonna get the Scout Car in here. Here, I'm gonna run Yep. Okay guys, that's it. We got her in the shop. Took us a second to fire it up, but part of that was because we had the ignition switch off, so that doesn't help the situation. But more or less, she fired right up, warmed up, drove it over here with no problems. I think the next step, there is some little finicky mechanical stuff that I procrastinated on, particularly the gear shift. It works, but it could be better. And I think I got a couple ideas how to clean that up and make it a little tighter, get it to work a little bit better. Also, the mufflers, I wanted to get that done last year, and I had a couple issues with the ideas. Now I have a new idea. I think I'm going to use tractor mufflers. It's going to have a dual exhaust setup, and I think that's just going to be the simplest thing to hopefully quiet this beast down. Other little mechanical stuff, potentially get that fuel tank mounted. I've got the bracketry for that. I just probably have to like do a little bit of painting down there and mount it in place. And my son mentioned maybe doing a tune-up on the engine and flushing all the fluids and stuff. We may do that, or we may leave that until the spring. But once those mechanical things are out of the way, I'm going to go right into fabricating mode. I think there's some loose ends I want to finish up, the visor, vision ports, that whole thing. I have one more latch mechanism to build, one more vision port visor to build. Maybe the doors, there's the doors and the door latches, might be something to do. Although I'm thinking just for ease of getting in and out of the vehicle, I may leave that to later in the project. We'll have to see. But after that, the next thing is the engine deck. I'm working on that, and then the rear fenders. They kind of go hand in hand together, that rear engine deck that lifts up and the fenders. I got some scrapyard searching to do. Obviously, when the main body is complete, then I think sometime around midwinter or very, very early spring, we're going to move on to the turret and that part of the project, which is going to be a little more complex in terms of fabricating compared to some of the stuff we've done. So the turret project, I have ideas for that. I think a few other guys that have built Scout cars have used a roller bearing system on the top deck. I'm going to do that same sort of idea in conjunction with a pedestal that'll have a hub, and I have to come up with some sort of a gear system. I had a plan for that, but I'm having problems scavenging up the right kind of ring gear with a worm. Plan B is to use a chain drive mechanism that will work off the hand crank. That way the turret will move back and forth and around. I know I can do a chain drive mechanism, no problem, so that's kind of plan B. I've also trying to scavenge up some sort of a gear system for the elevation of the gun mechanism, and I think I have something in mind for that as well. So those will be kind of the most challenging things about the turret. The fabricating of the outer ring of the turret, the sides, sidewalls should be fairly straightforward. I've got some ideas for seats and stuff like that. One of the main things we have to keep in mind is that attachment points for stowage bins and wiring and the fuse box and all of the stuff that goes on the inside, we have to make sure that we have all that laid out and planned out way ahead of time. A lot of that stuff doesn't have to be completed. Things like stowage bins we can always add later, but what needs to be in place are the bolt down points, all the attachment points, whether there are going to be bolts welded on the inside with holes, because what happens is once we prime and paint this thing, it will be very difficult to go back and then weld something to the side of the car, even a simple bracket, because it's just going to burn off, melt the paint, and screw with our paint job. So we have to look ahead and make sure all those little things are in place. Even if the components aren't complete, things like the radio rack, grenade racks, clips and hold down points for, things like the MP40, that stuff doesn't have to be completed, but there has to be attachment points where it's going to go. So that's something that's going to happen in the later part of the project before we paint. So after painting, I think that's when I'm going to do a lot of the wiring work. It'll be one of the last things we do to get the vehicle up and running. I noticed with my previous Kuba wagon project that I did a lot of wiring, and then I had to like rip all the wiring out and then paint, put all the wiring back in. So this time I'm not going to duplicate that work. I'm going to kind of leave the wiring to the very last, after we do the painting. Okay guys, like I said earlier, really appreciate the patience. This video will be probably coming out a week after I've filmed it. I do have some wood cutting and splitting to do before I really get into this project. So there may be a bit of delay, but I would say by December, we should have videos coming out on a regular basis again. Probably every week or every 2 weeks at least, there'll be a video. Basically, I film the work I'm doing, I edit it at the end of the week, and it goes right up. So there should be a steady stream of Scout Car videos coming up in the very immediate future. So definitely stick around, more videos will be popping up. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything like that, leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.